Thank you, Tatiana. Now, the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, has finally backed some drilling in the North Sea, despite Labour's net zero pledge. Now, Rachel Reeves gave support to 2 new drilling sites, claiming the UK needs to take control of its energy supplies amid the Iran war. But as the Energy Secretary warns against relying on fossil fuels, has the Chancellor opened a rift with Ed Miliband? Well, earlier on today, the Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch accused Ed Miliband of running the government from the back seat.
Just last week, I asked the Prime Minister to start drilling in Jackdaw and Rosebank. The pipeline's already been built. They're not allowing the drilling to happen. And he said it's not up to me, it's up to Ed Miliband. So the Prime Minister effectively confessing that Ed Miliband is running the government. If that is the case, this is a very dangerous situation. The public said no thanks to Ed Miliband in 2015. They did not vote for him. It is wrong of him to now be running the government from the back seat.
Well, I'm joined in the studio by GB News' political editor Chris Hope, and also by the director of the Climate Media Coalition, great friend of the show, Donnachadh McCarthy. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. Chris, let's start with you. There seems to be something of a rift breaking out between the top brass in the Labour Party. The Chancellor has been looking at the ledger sheet and said, "Ooh, I've had £20 million every single day since the Iran war started, an £8 billion windfall in total through additional revenue and taxation and windfall taxes off of North Sea oil and petrol duty." That would fill that black hole very, very nicely. The trouble is, the net zero minister, Ed Miliband, his policy is basically, let's just stop oil. But yesterday, Rachel Reeves said she'd be very happy to back extra exploration. It would allow us to take control of our own energy supplies here in Britain. Has she finally gone a little bit Donald Trump?
There's a whiff of division here, Martin. Let's quickly run through what happened yesterday and then today. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, told Jeremy Vine's show on the BBC Radio 2 that it was clear that there are 2 decisions that need to be made around this fields, Rosebank and Jackdaw, 2 gas fields in the North Sea. The previous government, she said, gave permission for those. That was overturned by the courts. We've now had to redo those processes to make sure they are lawful, and then the Secretary of State, Ed Miliband, will make his decision. That's called putting pressure on someone. Now, we're told by sources in the Treasury that North Sea gas is an important part of our energy mix, that we do tiebacks. That's basically running in pipes into gas fields already there to make sure they're empty before new fields are drilled. We need to get off this rollercoaster of prices, they say, and they say it's a matter for the courts. But in the past hour or so, we've heard from a source close to Ed Miliband. They said issuing new licences for fields cannot give us the energy security and will not take a penny off bills. They say this, regardless of where it comes from, oil and gas is sold on international markets, which set the price for British bill payers like you and me, making us a price taker. The only way to protect ourselves from these price spikes is to get off the roller coaster of fossil fuel markets. I can see our guest nodding in the corner there. They approve, but I think there was a big debate here. We know Reform UK, we know the Tories would reopen those fields straight away if they got into power.
Usual caveat applies, Mr. Miliband. If you're watching the show or anybody from your office, please come and join us in the studio. You won't come on the channel. Don't know why. Come and tell us why we're wrong. Come and tell us why Britain should be continued reliant on importing gas and oil that's spiralling through the roof rather than having our own. Mr. Miliband, you always have a warm, friendly welcome here in the studio. Chris Hope, stick with us for the moment. Let's go now to Donnachadh McCarthy. Donnachadh, we've had this debate endlessly. You're feeling rather smug today because your energy bill has come in and it's £60 net in profit because you've got solar panels, right?
Yeah. I got off the roller coaster 20 years ago.
But unfortunately,
every 10 years we have an Israeli oil crisis in the Middle East, and cost of fuel goes through the roof, and Britain goes through this incredible damage to our economy every 10 years because we won't get off the addiction to oil. We saw Kemi Badenoch there, standing there. What has she done over the last 15 years? She gave £210 billion tax giveaway to the oil industry and refuse to invest in making British homes secure from these kind of crises. It's an absolute disgrace, Martin. There are still 1.7 million homes dependent on heating oil 50 years after the 1970s oil crisis. The message here is get off our addiction to this because this is trashing our economy every 10 years. And Kemi Badenoch left millions of householders vulnerable to this crisis.
But it's worth pointing out that industry can't run off solar panels, factories can't run off solar panels, we can't store renewable energy when there's no wind or no solar. For now, we are reliant on fossil fuels, and this crisis has proved it. And it's also proved something else, Donnachadh. We are at the mercy of Islamic despots, tyrants. We saw that with Vladimir Putin. On that, we can certainly concur. Yeah. If we're energy sovereign, if we were in control of our own energy destiny through the North Sea by additional licenses, we would not be at the mercy, and we could sell it at a bumper profit, and you'd be happy. We could use some of that huge windfall to invest in a more diversified energy platform. But for now, we still need oil and gas. Let's drill, baby, drill.
Well, drill, monsters, drill. The idea that we are totally at agreement that Britain should be independent on its energy security. North Sea oil is around this. What they're arguing about is ridiculous. It's around 1.1% of the total stocks reserves in North Sea oil. That's what the argument is about. It's distracting Britain from what we really need to be doing, which is weaning ourselves up. You say industry can't run off solar panels. Spain has been insured against this crisis.
It's a lot sunnier.
Because they have actually put in solar panels. Britain's electricity grid, only 28% of it is now fossil fuels. Thankfully, we've weaned a significant 40% of it is now renewables. So industry is already running off renewables. But what we haven't done is actually electrified our transport and our heating. I've electrified my transport and my heating, and I'm not facing any rise in bills. I don't want that for Britain PLC. Why does Kemi Badenoch not want it?
But if we had every car in Britain electric today, there wouldn't be enough electricity to power them. And that's because, particularly, we can't store the energy from solar and renewables. Gas is cheap, it's storable, we can plug it in, we can turn it off like that. We do need it for now, Donnachadh.
Renewables is storable. We've been storing it for 50 years in Scotland in the hydro plants. I store it at night time in batteries. My solar panels run my house day and night.
You can't run a town or a cement factory off solar panels.
You can turn renewable electricity into green hydrogen, which produces green fertilizers and green steel. We can do it. There's £1 billion worth of waste renewable energy in Scotland where we pay for it to be dumped. That can make green steel and green fertilisers.
OK, Donnachadh McCarthy, full of passion as ever. Chris Hope, it's kicked off earlier on, of course, between Kemi Badenoch and Donald Trump. They were quite cosy at the start of the Iran war. Now it seems Ms Badenoch is trying to put distance between herself and the US president.
I can see why. I think increasingly Donald Trump looks like he's run out of road in the Middle East. He's now extending his timelines all the time, 2 to 3 weeks before it ends. It's not clear what the exit is. It looks to me like Donald Trump has got these troops lined up to go in, but he said no more foreign wars. How can he ratchet up, do the killer line to deal with Iran once and for all? I can't see how it's going. And increasingly, politicians here who were cheerleaders for Donald Trump, Kemi Badenoch to a degree, maybe more so Nigel Farage, they're moving away from where he is back towards where Keir Starmer is. But here's what Kemi Badenoch told GB News earlier today. Well, the clip isn't there, but she did say, worse the effect of if you make a mess, clear it up yourself. And I think that is why I think it's concerning that she's saying that. But that's